Welcome to Rappler Talk. I'm Ezra Faraz. Joining us today is Diego Jose Ramos, the co-founder of Horsepower.ph, a startup that focuses on providing HR benefits to self-employed individuals as well as small and medium enterprises. Thank you for joining us today, Diego.
Thank you, Ezra, for having me here.
So why did you choose to decide to found Horsepower.ph? What problem are you solving?
Yes, that's true. My co-founders, George Azurin and Hannah, George came from a company called Freelancer.com. He was a continental manager at the time. And Hannah built a company from 16,000 members to 1 million in just 3 years. And I'm a technical recruiter, and most of my clients are coming from the US, building a small tech team here. It's like SME. And our challenge is really moving people from corporations to be entrepreneur or self-employed because they're stripped from healthcare benefits, especially. So the challenge there is really great for us. So we decided to put Horsepower together in one platform, full HR benefits.
So what kind of benefits does Horsepower.ph offer self-employed individuals as well as small and medium enterprises?
We have several benefits like bills payment online, medical, dental, and healthcare products. We have online payroll. We have tax advice. We have exams as well on the platform. And most of all, we have BIR accredited documentation wherein you just push and you get a code. Easy.
So let's take a closer look at the healthcare insurance. Prior to Horsepower.ph, what would people do to get their medical needs met?
It was difficult for them. Most Filipinos until now is still on out of pocket in terms of healthcare industry. Mean to say, when they jump out from corporate or from their jobs, they're stripped from these kinds of benefits. So what they do, in case they decide to protect themselves, they knock on the doors of HMO companies, which normally charge them a very high rate because they don't avail of this large volume in terms of corporation. So they're still struggling and challenged how to avail of these affordable healthcare packages.
What exactly is the danger of paying for my medical needs out of pocket when I have them?
There's a great danger, Ezra. We took the economics of scales of average Filipinos earning about 700 a day with a family of 4 or 6 normally. That's the picture in the Philippines. And with that kind of income, it's just basic for food, clothing, and shelter, and barely for lifestyle and even healthcare. So the danger is when somebody in the family gets sick, it strips them off from their family savings.
So you've seen this actually occur?
Yes, Ezra, especially if from people especially who are in multi-level marketing business or SMEs where they live on a day-to-day kind of check. It's okay if they're earning, but what if one day they decide they get sick? So it becomes a challenge for them because they don't have a regular pay. Most freelancers as well rely on seasonal income. So it becomes a challenge for them to get protected in terms of health benefits.
So what do they do when they have these huge health care bills and they can't afford to pay them?
That's where the problem happens. Either they leave a promissory note to the hospital, if ever the hospital would agree for them to go out. And if not, they tend to borrow money, and it creates a lot of stress in the family.
Are you planning to move the Philippines away from this out-of-pocket healthcare system?
Yes, we attempt to do that, Ezra, with Horsepower. Just a brief history about HMOs. It started in the mid-80s here in the Philippines, and at the time, the medical practitioners and hospitals are averted to that kind of system wherein HMO companies would negotiate for a lower rate. And even until now, they're still struggling to do that. But with Horsepower, we provide simple way of availing medical insurance and HMO benefits in just one click in the platform with Horsepower.ph.
So can you explain how Horsepower.ph works in a little more detail? So it's a platform or a portal where people can avail of these different HR products?
That's right. So we designed Horsepower.ph in terms of the type of entrepreneur you are, the type of income level as well. So it's like a product tier, a flexi band. So there's like low rates as low as $99.999 a year to a more comprehensive services. So depending on your type of business, the number of people you have in your company, or the type of budget you can allocate for HR benefits, it's all there. And we kept it simple because in just one click, it's all registered online.
So what challenges stand in your way of making this platform widely used among Filipino?
Oh, the challenge is just educating the Filipinos, not just, it's just bringing them online. So for them, it's still a challenge here in the Philippines to trust internet businesses to transact online. So it's just the main challenge there. And the way they would maneuver the platform, we make it as easy as possible. We don't stop thinking and ways of things, make it easy for them. So the challenge for them is to experience that choosing the plan for them.
So how are you addressing this challenge, getting Filipinos online and making them feel comfortable to transact their HR needs through your platform?
What we do is an initial part of the website, if you go to the website, we ask them to join so that they have a view of the different plans. Then they choose, they click, and we require them with the information. And if they're an entrepreneur or SME, then they push the payment and they give a receipt, and automatically they become a member.
So I understand the Philippines is not unique. There are many other countries in the world that have out-of-pocket healthcare system. Do you eventually want to import this model to other countries like those?
That's true, Ezra. The Philippines is a developing country, and unlike Singapore and Hong Kong, where the government takes care of them, other countries like Indonesia, India, and Pakistan share the same healthcare system that we have. So with our partners, we have spoke to them already, and we plan to launch in these countries as well.
How soon do you plan on launching internationally?
Our timeline for this one is within 2 years.
What other pieces of advice do you have for entrepreneurs trying to solve big problems like you are doing with healthcare insurance in the Philippines?
My advice for them is, like, when you try to solve a problem, you make sure it's going to be significant. It's a significant problem, no matter how small they are, but it's going to change lives. And keep the process simple. That's where the errors of startups happens, when they start to solve problems which make it very complicated instead of keeping it simple. And pushing through being a startup, Ezra, I'm sure that the struggle of being a startup, it's just like it challenges you so much to your passion.
A lot of people prior to you coming along didn't think to try to change the healthcare industry. What other problems do you think Filipinos should try to address now that are probably being overlooked?
There are a lot. Just imagine the traffic that we have now. I think, example, that recently I've been confronted with a problem, the way traffic is dealt in toll gates. We don't have an app yet that could easily access payment system in toll gates, although we have this e-pass, but it's not working. So there's no technology that would allow you to do that easier. And in reference to healthcare, we acknowledge presence of those trying to solve the problem in terms of healthcare, because we may be starting this in the industry, but we need people similar with our passion in terms of healthcare to push the industry further.
Thank you for joining us today, Diego.
Thank you, Ezra.
I've been speaking with Diego Jose Ramos, the co-founder of Horsepower.ph, a startup that focuses on providing HR benefits to self-employed individuals as well as small and medium enterprises. I'm Ezra Faraz, and thank you for joining Rappler Talk.